Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to leave a like. It helps out the channel. If you already left a like, try and leave another one. It couldn't hurt. I mean, it might. Anyway, I will personally tell you I'm a little fatigued with the constant back and forth in this market. And I don't necessarily mean prices. I mean the actual sentiment of everything that's going on and also that isn't going on. Let me explain, please. When the ETFs first launched, was it January? Was it March? No, January. January 2024. The space was euphoric. Everyone was so happy that we finally got Bitcoin ETFs, the things that we've been trying to get for I think it was 12 years. That's not a fake number either. It was a very long time. Every person in the SEC said no over the course of the last decade and then some. We finally got the Bitcoin ETFs. Everyone's euphoric. Prices go up. Everyone loves it. Over the course of the summer, remember this? Over the course of the summer, the Bitcoin ETFs were doing exceptionally well. For those of you who've missed it somehow, I'm not sure how you managed to do it. The Bitcoin ETFs in the US of A are the best performing ETFs ever. Not in a month, not in a year, ever. And a lot of the news that we've been seeing that was popping up before was mainly discussing how good they are relative to gold ETFs. For those of you who don't know that story, gold got ETFs in 2003, 2004. I think that was the year, somewhere around there. And then since then, their price has risen dramatically after the introduction of the ETFs. And therefore, people assume, or the assumption is, that because Bitcoin got ETFs as well, and gold got off to a rocky start with their ETFs, that Bitcoin would kind of have the same exact problems and eventually soar to dramatic new heights in the similar way that gold did. That was a lot of the hype that we were seeing and a lot of the discussions that are still kind of semi going on. It depends on where you really look. My problem has to do with numbers. Yes, numbers. I know, weird, right? So if you hear, let's say, for instance, you got 100 apples. Simple enough. And then one day you lost 18 apples. Okay, but you still got a lot of apples that you got before. Everyone's still with me? Cool. The next day you lose 12 more apples. Where my apples go? And then you also gain 36 more apples. But all your neighbors continuously talk about the fact that you lost 17 and then 12 apples, even though you have technically more than you previously had before. That was the trend the entirety of the summer. And for some reason, only negative news about the ETFs kept on making it into the actual news. It's because of the same exact, well, for a couple of things. If you're going to release negative news, it's going to make people feel negative. Shocker, right? And then the issue ends up being is that these people tell the negative news to other people and they think that everything about the entire market is negative. Prices fell, you might remember that as well, and then ended up going completely sideways. That was based off of market manipulation, but also the prices were going down because of this, what's the word? I can't think of the word. People being annoyed that basically prices weren't skyrocketing at the moment that they thought that they should have been skyrocketing. Impatience is the word that I'm going to use there. And it was mainly retail investors. And I was like, no, please, really, I know I sound sarcastic, but I was like, stop selling. I can't tell people not sell or to stop selling. So I kind of, because it's difficult being in the world of finance, for those of you who don't know, because I cannot and I will not ever explicitly tell you what to do with your money. But I will bring you the news so that you can hopefully follow trends and understand the way that the world is rapidly changing. The only people who kept on selling their Bitcoin were the people who would or could or might be able to benefit the most from Bitcoin's price rising in the future. We kept on seeing the retail wallets dropping, completely inactive, selling off their coins, and the whales kept on buying more and more and more. The point, the ultimate point to be made after all of this is that once again, Bitcoin's very scarce. And I know you heard me say it before. I see people in the comment section always talking about because I talk about it because you're not really getting it. And I know, okay, I got it. For the 4 or 5 of you who are getting it, because I do see some comments be like, I get it. And I'm like, okay. Now for the rest of the class who's not understanding 1 + 1, this is why we're constantly re-going over a lot of these things. The institutions, despite what the news might tell you, have not stopped buying cryptocurrencies. They're actually only buying even more. And what you're seeing a lot of time is simply like a swish and a sway, a slosh, if you will, of money from one corner to another. The assumption, if you see $60 million worth of inflows into the ETFs, and then $14 million worth of outflows, is that, well, you know, there's not a lot of interest. When people are forgetting that the number 60 was there first, because higher 60 minus 14, you still got a lot inside the actual market. And then the assumption also is, well, if they're selling off those coins, that they're basically, you know, like there's a loss of interest. And then the same exact time, we end up seeing that there's also like relatively around that same exact kind of buy order from Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, Gemini, or wherever you're getting your cryptocurrency from. So when I talk about the actual mood swings, that's what I'm talking about. Because when prices go down and the ETFs have like outflows, the news becomes very negative. Everyone gets very, very sad. We experienced a world where these corporations and companies bought so much Bitcoin that it would literally take you several thousand years to be able to procure that money to buy the same amount that they did in a 3-month period. The market goes down for 12 weeks and everyone starts crying and everyone gets really sad. This news comes out and everyone's euphoric once again. Everyone's pretending like nothing sad or bad happened at all, and everyone's back on top of the mountain once again. The news is BlackRock, along with the other ETF issuers, have been buying a lot of Bitcoin. The news made it into the news because they have a lot of Bitcoin. Surprise! Yeah, at the time of me making this video, BlackRock went over 400,000 Bitcoin by themselves. Saying those numbers and that word almost gives me chills. Almost a little smidge of chills. Do you understand how much 400,000 Bitcoin is? Even if it was just $400,000, a lot of people, I'm tired of people pretending as well that 400K or like $500,000 or $1 million isn't a lot of money. People keep, I want 5 million, I want 35 million. I'm like, okay, well, good luck to you. 400,000 Bitcoin is owned by one company. And just let that rest in your temple for a little bit. They now hold over, it says 403,725,000 Bitcoin, valued at just around 30 billion US dollars. The problem is that until we get news like this, the vast majority of the market ends up being very pessimistic. You've caught yourself in a loop where you seemingly are only caring about or thinking that the most important thing in this market is when a company buys it. As I stated before, if BlackRock had never gotten into crypto, or Fidelity, if we never had ETFs, we would do just fine. We do spectacularly every single cycle. But this narrative that has popped in that the only way for us to do well is if Larry Fink, is if Fidelity, or if the guy from Dell, or if Muskie and all these other people end up liking it or buy it. Like there was also news I don't have, it's not here. I think Tesla, they had like an earnings report recently, and they showed that all the Bitcoin that they have, they still have it. They haven't sold any of it. And people were euphoric online. This relinquishing of power once again and wealth in the form of Bitcoin back into the hands of rich people is like one of the dumbest things in the entire world. Bitcoin is not made for these companies or corporations. Those 400,000 Bitcoin should actually be in the hands of several billion people on the planet who've been buying continuously over the course of the last 15 years. The problem, to finish the thought, that we are going to have is that they're going to own all the Bitcoin, and people don't see this as a possibility. It doesn't enter their head because they can't conceptualize if Bitcoin's not above $1 million. What is this man talking about? Why on earth would there not be any Bitcoin left? Is because they figured out a way to basically do it under the nose of everyone else who's in the market. And it bothers me the most for people who are in the market, people who've been here for a long time. These are a lot of the people who've also stopped buying because they're waiting for some astronomical price in the future for Bitcoin before they start buying again. And it's like, well, when the Bitcoin wealth disparity swings 99% in one direction, you know, that's just, I guess, the way that things are meant to be. The major news is BlackRock bought more Bitcoin. They have even more Bitcoin than they previously had before. The ETFs continue to grow in size. At the time of me making this video, Bitcoin is not above $185,000.23. And therefore, like a lot of retail investors and even people who were into crypto before or who own crypto have not jumped back into the market because they don't see what's going on. You forget that we were literally, anyway, the point is fantastic, wonderful. I love when the institutions buy up all the coins that are meant for other people around the world. I still think we are being catapulted towards a future where the idea of even owning 30,000 Satoshis, that's 30,000, is going to make people feel like rich and wealthy and like they have a lot of money. And the fact that there are people in crypto who still don't own any BTC is weird to me. Yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Everyone's celebrating BlackRock continuously becoming richer. You know, you can't have $11 trillion worth of assets and be like, I think I'm going to get some more. And then everyone stands up and applauds as rent goes up and everything else becomes more expensive. Bit of a weird world. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.